Turn on Bluetooth. All right, we back. All right, good, good, good. Mic check. Okay, we good. All right. So, be that as it may, it wasn't too late. Went on and did it anyway. Young, what's going on? Once again, man, I apologize for my guest on my panel the other day. Like I said, we won't be having that again. Shay Love, what's going on? Uh, young Riaz, man, you are a great gentleman and a scholar, man, because you kept your patience and you cool, and that's a good characteristic to have, man. Having patience and throughout the storm of anything that's going on, you're a real humble man, and blessing be upon you. But going into this situation, man, it's never too late. Coco, what's going on? A lot of people wait, 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 wait. Then they feel like as if they don't have that time frame in order for them to, live their life. But technically speaking, it's never too late, to start the race. It's never too late to get yourself into the game and get started doing what you need to do. I say this all the time when I talk about life insurance. A lot of people look at, man, I'm older, the life insurance is going to cost more. It's best to have something than to have nothing, you know. And the only reason I push so much about life insurance, man, because we got to look and see what's going on around us. You know, the world is not getting better. Situations are not putting everybody in the best opportune, you know, key ways of living. So we got to take advantage of things now, and that's putting ourselves in position to win. With the life insurance, if you get whole life, you're only going to help yourself because technically, a lot of people don't know how to use life insurance. Shout out to Alonzo. I'm looking this up all the time, man. A lot of times it's to the point where Alonzo keeps telling me, man, I need to put you on the team and get you to be one of my agents. I'm just so big on life insurance because, you know, I'm living proof. My father had life insurance. My father had a trust. And it's only right I do that for my kids. You know, I always speak on my kids telling them I want the best for them. You know, if anything ever happened to me, who's gonna be there to raise my kids? Shout out Miss B, make this go viral. You know, who's gonna be there for my kids? In most situations, I have my brothers, maybe my wife's brothers, which they're uncles, they can do things for them. But nobody's gonna be there like the parents. Nobody's gonna be there like their father. Nobody's gonna be there like their mother. You know, they got aunts, cousins, and all, but nobody's gonna be there like their family. So when it comes down to it, the immediate family, your father and mother, putting things in perspective. One of my friends, I explained that to him. He don't have any kids. I said, what about your nieces and nephews? You don't have no family members, no friends, nobody that you want these kids' life to mature, let alone when you get to an older age, you can go in that life insurance, pull some money out for yourself. You know, most people use life insurance as a retirement fund, you know, but getting into it, I mean, technically it's never too late. It's literally never too late. You can really start right now. Never too late. A lot of people just don't know the first way to start. The best way to start is just do it. Nike came up with the most best slogan, just do it. Get into it. Hey, do your research. You're right. So most of the time, These life insurance cost a penny a day in most cases. I mean, they don't cost that much. Like the one they say $1 a day, Global Life and all them, they're $15 a month, you know. But the proper way of buying it is getting the life insurance that benefits you. Love to travel. Waves what's going on. I seen your video the other day, the short video you had. Yeah, I watched that. Black Money, what's going on? Hey, shout out to you. A lot of people in the chat. Hey, drop your links. Go ahead, sub to other people's channels. You know, we have a lot of great channels over here. Very good, positive people that come around. When it comes down to it, say the least, it's not even just talking about life insurance today. You know, this is one of the main things I harp on, talk about, but just the life with you. You know, I don't just talk about life insurance. I don't just talk about finance. I mostly talk about you being the person you are. And one of the things to that, you know, that self awareness, you know, the craziness when it come down to it is you being you. You know, you have situations to where a lot of people just feel like I'm in a dead end job. I can't do anything for myself. I can't be this and I can't be that. A lot of times you gotta understand it's so many things you can be doing better for yourself, but you gotta have that within you to, you know, get it started. You know, being in a situation to where you're around people that can put you in position to win. You know, same thing I always talk about my kids. You know, putting them in, getting them to a point of tutoring and everything. You know, getting them to a point so they can, you know, benefit themselves. Yeah, I mean, everybody had their reason for doing things, but even with that, still, you having your policy benefiting you and doing the things that you can do, say the least. I mean, even with my kids, my kids have a policy right now. They got universal life insurance, and with that universal life insurance, it caps off at 30 years. They got it when they was 10. So by the time they're 40, it's capped off. They'll get paid from that policy, even to a point there where the money comes in and it helps with their family. The money that I put in there now, it rolls over to their family. So, say my sons never get a policy or never get more policies, they still got that policy to benefit their family when they get older. Yeah, I mean, a lot of policies people use. What's going on, boss lady? A lot of policies people can use to benefit them. You know, we really need to learn more about these policies. That's the whole thing with me. Why I always talk about learning and benefiting yourself by the knowledge. You know, seeking the knowledge, that's the key. You know, and a lot of times we neglect the knowledge because we just think we got more time. You think, you know, this will never happen to me. How many of the celebrities, from Michael Jackson to Prince, all Whitney Houston to a degree, all of them didn't have wills, insurance, nothing to suffice the family. You know, Michael had assets, let alone, but you know, you need more to, move the envelope. Yeah. When it comes down to it, they have burial insurance. And with the burial insurance is basically what it is. Like they call it death. This is just for you being buried. A lot of people, that's what they use life insurance for, burial insurance. So if you die, you get a $10,000 policy, $5,000 policy just to pay for your funeral arrangement. But what about more? What about more to benefit the family? You know, a lot of times people use life insurance just to, move the generation forward. And when it comes down to it, we all have situations to where, you know, we got to learn and be better and do more for ourselves. That's what getting the knowledge comes from. It starts from there. You know, that's what I was talking about, being a better you, getting this knowledge. You know, you got to get to a point in your life to where, like I was just telling my son the other day, my son works at car dealership detailing cars. I told him all day, there's nothing wrong with your job. You can do this job for the rest of your life and be happy. But my advice to him was have a career versus having a job. You know, I drive trucks. In my field, this is a career. They, yes, to a degree, they can put anybody in that truck, but also to a degree, they got to be able to drive. They got to be able to know what they're doing. They got to functionally be able to take care of themselves and people around them. And jobs are not just hiring anybody, for that position. I mean, it's gotten bad out here, but it's not that bad to where they have a situation to where they're just not gonna hire. They're just hiring anybody off the street just to come drive trucks to suffice them. And I was telling him, there's different fields he can get into and still, deal with the job he's doing now or in that field he's doing and still be happy. But more or less, setting my son up for the future. My older son, I told him point blank. I said, you know, just like with me having the keys, when I was young, someone talked to me, gave me the game, pushed me forward. I'm doing the same thing for you, you know. And when it comes down to it, it's up to you. How do you want to take this information and run with it? He accepted it, he understood, and that's why he's looking in a different direction now. But like I told him, it takes time, but at the same time, at least if you have a direction in which you're going, that's the key. You know, a lot of times we get off track trying to, stay focused on other things, but when we're not looking long term towards the mission at hand, you know, and in some cases, like I say, when we talk about this life insurance, you know, it puts people in a situation, the point of being wealthy is one thing, but another situation is creating generational wealth. You know, a policy, you have a whole life policy, you can borrow off that policy, tend to do things, a lot of people get to a point where they get older, they can go into their policy, pay off their house. Let alone, I was just talking to one of my friends. Um, he was telling me his wife had a 401k. She been at her job for 20 years and never touched it. And they got about 2 years on the house. She's 2 years from being to getting retirement. He's 1 year from being getting retired and getting his and getting his money. I think he was 62 and she's 61, and they don't want to wait to 65. They'll go ahead and get it at 60, 63, and then get the full after 65. And I told him, I said, well, I understand you working right now, and you and your wife trying to, get to a point to where y'all can go ahead and get to the age of retirement. I think he's going to be to that age this year. I explained to him, I said, well, if you know you're going to get that money, why don't you just go ahead, get your wife to go ahead, go into a 401k, pay the rest of that off, and within those 2 years of her finishing work, she'll be able to get her 401k plus her retirement, and then both of you guys don't work, house paid off, cars paid off, just live your life. You know, you have enough money to pay your utilities. If need be, get a part-time job, so just to do something, get out the house. But the main thing is you'll be debt free. You know, they both don't have any student loans, anything. They live the modest life, so It's to the point where taking advantage of that 401k because that's what it's for. Same thing with your life insurance policy. You know, you put so much money into it, let it mature at least about 10 years or so. On average, most advisors are trying to tell you, you will have money in there within the first 3 years, but letting it mature over time, it helps to let the money, mature, and you'll be able to go in that whole life policy, pull money out, do some things that benefit you. Like I was expressing to my wife, I said, I'm gonna leave my policy in there for at least about 10 to 15 years, maybe close to 20 years. Take enough down, take enough out when I'm getting close to retirement and do some investments. That's gonna be my, thing for me to do with my money. You know, main thing, the long term dream is dealing for the kids. The longer I live, the more money goes into my policy. With the universal life insurance, I got mine set up to going off the S&P. Give me a return about 7% a month. I'm good. You know, and if I need to touch it, I can. But if not, I can always work. I can always find something extra right now to do to make up money. And that's the thing. We feel like if we don't have time, you know, best time is now. But they say Colonel Sanders was in his 50s or 60s before he started KFC. It's a lot of people at the end of their life started, their business venture. A lot of people feel as if getting into their own business. You know how many people failed at starting a business because of, the pitfalls of it being so hard and people. I had a guy right before I got this job. I was looking into buying my own tow truck. So I actually went and worked at AAA part time. I made more money at AAA than at my regular job. My regular job, I did 6 hours because I was on salary. I did 6 hours, got paid, and I had a commission side set aside to it. I was making decent money. But then when I went and worked at AAA, I made twice the money working at AAA part time. And to a degree, I was going to quit both of them and just go ahead and get me a tow truck. The guy kind of, gave me a salty taste in my mouth about getting into that business because if you have a driver that messes up anything with that insurance, the way it's scheduled, you're at fault. You're paying for all of it. And I was like, well, I don't want to entrust somebody else. But the thing of it was, I could have did it for myself. But me doing a tow truck long term, that wasn't gonna be my plan. You know, my plan was to go ahead and get a couple and start from there. What's going on, Ray? And that was the key. So what's stopping me from getting a tow truck now? A little money. Then I had about 25,000 set aside for a tow truck, and that could have financed that tow truck. So I would have to start that process of putting money aside again for a tow truck. Okay. Still, what's stopping me? I can go get a business loan. I can set that up. See, a lot of people looking at, man, it's this and like it just didn't spark my interest anymore. I could set up right now and try to get one, but I'm looking at other business ventures right now. You know, I'm to a point of actually trying to start my own clothing line. That's what one of the things we were talking about Saturday when I had the live with Kawafi Nino. Kawafi is actually into sport fashion, and he has his own signature line. And that's the thing with me. That's what I was looking at. Okay, I should get back into that. That was one of the things I was going to school for, and I took up in high school, and when I got ready to do in college. But nevertheless, is starting. You know, I was just talking to my friend. He was like, "Well, a lot of those companies don't make money like that," and I'm like, "Hey." just me having my name on it and me doing my thing. If I make money, cool. If I don't, oh well. You know, I got money set aside for a project I'm gonna do, and if this makes money, I take it. If not, hey, I can always be a local hero. You know, nevertheless, it's not a problem. I had a friend, same thing. My friend, he did some shirts. Actually took off pretty good. Had a lot of people wearing them. One of the guys, actually from ESPN, was wearing one of his shirts. I had another friend, and they were actually a group of guys that I knew. They started a clothing company, and to a degree, they had it 106 and Park. I think Tony Yayo was wearing one of his shirts on 106 and Park. And the thing of it is, like I said, just starting. I'm I'm not late. I'm not late in the game. You know, I might be a little back on the hip side with these little hipsters, but I'm not late in the game. It's never too late to start. A lot of times with these podcasts, look at $1 million worth of game. Gilly started off as a rapper slash turned into a ghostwriter, from a ghostwriter to just, you know, doing his own thing, entertaining, giving what that $1 million worth of game. Got with his cousin, hey, made it a hit. You know, I think Wallow was the catalyst to pushing them forward to get the money because him coming from a struggle and had a story to tell, and Gilly just being in the entertainment industry, he would have eventually found a niche and got into something. But I think Wallow was the more catalyst to pushing that podcast to go forward. Same thing with the situation with Mace and Cameron. It's never too late. A lot of people who really take this YouTube serious and start putting some money, start putting some time and dedicating yourself, you'll make your channel grow. You know, a lot of times being in the right situation. You know, shout out to Young Riaz. Young Riaz with the hand drop. And like I was telling Young Riaz, I was telling him, hey man, you got to start freestyling and rapping because that's gonna be different. You know, that's gonna bring more people to your channel. That's gonna bring more eyes to you. You rapping, not just rapping other people's lyrics. That's gonna be something different. You know, and to a degree, a lot of people like different. A lot of people like entertaining. You know, just like I was on Business Talk with K yesterday. Business Talk with K, check out his channel, and he was running down the situation with Deion Sanders, and a lot of people calling him out. He's putting a target on his head by always talking about these teams that he's beating and he's winning. You know, the stats show right now he's undefeated. He's good. You know, but when it comes down to it, he was Kay was saying if I was on my channel with the money phone, driving the Lamborghinis and stuff like that, I get more people because in this fact is true. Like I said, entertainment sells. I used to do promotion. I know entertainment sells. You know, beef sells. I can pick a podcast, pick a YouTuber, talk to them, go at a beef, and even with me being a finance channel and just talking things about money, I can go at different channels and money and situations like that. You know, shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. For people that know that channel, Pocket Watching with JT goes and he does what he says his channel was for, pocket watching. He literally goes and pocket watch a lot of channels, talk about certain things that they're doing, whether it be, good or bad, and hey, but to a degree, you know, this is the time we living in right now where entertainment trumps actually getting knowledge. Like I said, my biggest thing about YouTube before I got into trying to create a podcast or trying to give information, I was always on here looking at documentaries. I was looking at home improvement videos. I was always into doing things to better my life about finance. One of the key channels I used to watch, and I actually still watch to this day, but not as much, is Erica Williams, the climb. Erica Williams, the classic climb. I stayed on that channel. You know, Erica gave good content and had a lot of substance for her channel. She gave a lot of information in regarding to starting a business, gave a lot of information in regarding to, people getting their, feet off the ground, with anything that you want to do as far as finance, as far as getting into organizations. And she would always say, the best thing about doing this is just starting, you know, getting your LLC. A lot of people pay all this money to all these different companies. Oh, $800. We'll do LegalZoom. We'll get your paperwork done and all this. EIN numbers are free. Straight to the IRS website. EIN numbers are free. That people are charging for these. They'll charge you just to go get something for free. Same thing with registering your business with the state. Go to the state website. You know, fill out the information. I remember I had started a transportation business. I had to go through this whole ring because it was going to be classified as a taxi. So I had to go get an E-class number. Then I had to go down, register the vehicle. It was so many things I had to do. But me wanting to start that business, me wanting to get in there and, have something that I can call, that I can show my kids and family members, like, yeah, I'm taking the next step in life. You got to be done. Do your research. Learn about this stuff. It's never going to be too late for you to get in the game. You know, say the least. A lot of people, on their journey in life, weight loss, anything, get in there and start. That's the best way. You know, watch what you eat. You know, shout out to Coco. She running and doing her thing in the gym. Hey, I got to get back out there and, get in there and do my thing too. I be on and off, but, doing a lot of moving into this gardening. Same thing with me in this process with the garden, growing these collard greens, growing. I mean, the tomatoes were a struggle. I produced tomatoes. I got corn. I mean, I got carrots. Didn't get no corn this year. Corn stock just died on me. Grapes couldn't get them to ferment, take it to the next level. But it's a process. A lot of people don't know that everything that you do in life is a process. And it takes you, with knowing the process or not knowing the process, learning to get this stuff done. You know, what the old cliche saying that Rome wasn't built in a day? It wasn't. It took time. It took years. As the old people say, seasons. You know, and for us to try to get things moving and shaking real quick, it's not gonna happen. It takes time. You know, you can't you can't grow a tomato in 1 hour. You can't grow, anything to a degree in an hour like that, unless it's modified. But I don't even know if you want to trust that. But nevertheless, get out there, work hard, get some information, learn. That's the key. A lot of us, we're in a situation to where we can better ourselves so good, but it takes time for us to get in there and just do the simplest of things because we're not motivated. We're scared. You know, it's up to us to be better, but once again, with us being better, we got to get out there and go for it. We got to get out there and try to do it. Got to have some type of patience. And overall, hey, just get the job done. With that being said, shout out to everybody that came through. Hey, you know what I always say? We here and we gone.